Welcome everyone. In today's episode, I want to discuss what is needed for the crypto markets to advance and for us to see really sustainably higher prices. I'm not talking about just a temporary bull run followed by a crash, but real long-term growth. Before we get into those reasons, a massive thank you to all of you for being part of the cryptocurrency community. Your support makes all the difference, so thank you so much. And of course, you do have to remember, this is not financial advice. This is just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. So what do we need to make the crypto markets make real long-term sustainable growth and of course a bit of price action as well? Look, I'm only making the bull case here because the opposite of these things will essentially lead us into a deeper bear route. The first big one that everyone's been talking about is institutional money. And you have to remember that institutional money is a bit of a double-edged sword, but whether we like it or not, the big boys are coming. We see all kinds of bullish news like South Korean banks that are investing heavily into attaining crypto assets. What is a key bait to get institutions on board? Well, a lot of people have been talking about the Bitcoin ETF, and the SEC in the United States is currently accepting public commentary on the topic. We have had big interest from players like the CBOE, which is the Chicago Board of Exchange. The Winklevoss twins keep trying to get an ETF out there. BlackRock, the world's largest ETF trader, is also exploring it at the moment, which is very bullish news for cryptocurrencies. The SEC has come out and said that Bitcoin is not a security, but a huge amount of uncertainty does remain, and big money will absolutely be looking for regulatory certainty. And this is certainly a key factor when it comes to courting that big money to get into the game. And we are still in this state where we have a lot of lack of certainty, especially in many of the world's key jurisdictions. They're still developing frameworks around the legal status of cryptocurrencies, not to mention, of course, the tax framework. But the conversations are being had, which is very important, and excepting a few key countries like China, the direction has overall been positive. Custody is another big part of the equation when it comes to the institutional investors. They want to know that their funds can be safe. And having a ledger wallet is a great option, especially for your average Joe, but for big banks who are looking at billions of dollars in trading volume potentially, it's not enough for them. They want to know that they have real solid custody options, and we have those coming. Coinbase Custody, for example, is offering an institutional package. Ledger is also offering enterprise-level custodian services and has had a recent funding round from major players to help push it forward. Zappo is building underground bunkers. Talk about next-level custodianship. The Winklevoss twins have recently backed Vault 12, which is an ICO, again, focused on custodianship. Not to mention a host of other services being offered by different players. So custodianship is here without a doubt. Money is flowing into crypto like a river through so many avenues. The venture capital scene for cryptocurrency and blockchain tech is absolutely massive, and huge investments are being made daily. Not to mention, of course, the explosive ICO scene and the huge amounts of money flowing into the ICO market. The over-the-counter markets, yes, the OTC markets are also exploding. Seriously, the OTC daily trading volume is huge, and high net worth individuals are getting into cryptocurrency. We also have a current explosion of exchanges coming into play. It seems like everyone is making an exchange these days. Even Norwegian Airlines came out and said that they're going to be looking at starting a cryptocurrency exchange because companies like Binance and Coinbase have proven that owning a cryptocurrency exchange is basically a license to print money. Coinbase also just got the green light to list security tokens, which is massive news for Coinbase. And Coinbase is also offering things like an index fund. It is getting easier and easier to buy cryptocurrencies, and that is going to get more retail investors involved, but it's also going to get the big institutions involved as well. We are finally starting to see decentralized applications really starting to deliver. We're starting to see real-world use cases for blockchain technology coming through the likes of remittance companies, collectibles, supply chain, and this increased network effect will be a key driver in the demand for cryptocurrencies past pure speculation. Massive media exposure. CNBC has a crypto show at the moment. Silicon Valley is regularly talking about cryptocurrencies. There are daily write-ups in Forbes and other key publications about Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies. We even have an upcoming movie with Kurt Russell talking about Bitcoin. Of course, problematically, a lot of the information that has been going around about Bitcoin in the news is usually negative, but it is still free advertising for Bitcoin, and brand awareness of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is without a doubt increasing. Some less likely things that may also be drivers for the price would be a global trade war between China and the United States as we see investors flocking to Bitcoin. Rapid dollar devaluation is also a potential as the US could struggle to repay its $22 trillion in debt. More compellingly, though, the next halvening is happening in May 2020. This is when the Bitcoin block reward will drop from 12.5 to 6.25, thus increasing the rarity of Bitcoin almost overnight. And when we consider that we have big companies like GMO Internet and others dropping hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin mining, we can see that there is a lot of belief in the future value of Bitcoin. And you have to remember, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin at an absolute maximum. The last Bitcoin will not be mined for more than 100 years, and we've already lost millions of Bitcoin potentially. Just think about that for a moment. Usability for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies has been a real problem in terms of onboarding new people, but this is actually getting better all the time. But we do need to see things like Bitcoin be more stable when it comes to fees in order for it to actually be a working payment network. Hopefully the Lightning Network should address the issue of small payments on the Bitcoin network, not to mention the raft of other highly functional cryptocurrencies that offer low fees and high transaction speeds. We do need more of an increase in user friendliness as well. But again, we do have many projects that are working very hard to make this reality, to make investing easier, to make sending money easier, to make using cryptos easier overall, but we still do have a user experience problem. Only a few % of people in the world's major economies even own any cryptocurrency, not to mention the abysmally low ownership rates in the developing countries. If you believe that cryptocurrencies can be the money of the future and can be the money of the internet, then you can see the long-term potential here as more and more people get involved. Remember, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, and there's 7.5 billion people on the planet right now. Let those numbers sink in for a moment. In so many ways, the game hasn't even started yet. If you are listening to me right now, congratulations, because you're here early. You're here before most people have even heard about Bitcoin yet. You're here before most people are even aware of the potentials of blockchain technology. This is the equivalent of knowing about the internet back in the early 1990s. As a final note, the price of Bitcoin is something that gets a lot of people excited, and that's understandable. We're all investors in cryptocurrencies. That's part of the reason why we're here. But regardless of the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general, the technology on offer is truly evolutionary. And more than just the profits, the chance to create a new monetary system, a new world based on decentralized technology can have a massive impact on our daily lives. And this is a big driver for me in the cryptocurrency markets. But when you start to realize the power of that technology, the price will follow as the technology develops and as adoption develops, and as we do see a global network of this technology being built out, price is inevitable. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think about the future price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies down below in the comment section. Thumbs up the video, share these videos around the internet to help the community grow. Join the conversation over on Twitter. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.